My name is John Smith. Back then, I was 28 years old. I married Emily, a coworker I met at my job. Looking back now, Emily was pretty selfish and difficult, but love is blind, as they say. Emily was great at being affectionate and cute, and she pursued me relentlessly until we got married.
John, there's no one else as kind as you,
Emily often told me. Her words really touched my heart. To a plain guy like me, Emily felt like a gift from above, and I was grateful for her. When we went to her parents' house to announce our marriage, I was struck by their home. In contrast to the vibrant Emily, her parents were modest and steady, and her sister, Anne, greeted us with a calm and composed demeanor. Anne, my sister-in-law, wore glasses and had her black hair tied back in a tight bun, giving her a very professional, almost government worker vibe. I made a proper greeting to this serious family, and our marriage was blessed by both sides, but our happy married life didn't last long. After we got married, Emily quit her job to become a full-time housewife. At first, she always greeted me with a smile and a "welcome home, you must be tired," when I came back from work. She wasn't great at cooking, and sometimes we'd have store-bought meals, but she tried her best. However, after about 6 months, Emily started saying,
I'm bored being home all day, maybe I should work part-time.
And she began working part-time during the day. At first, even though she complained about the unfamiliar work and relationships, she still did her chores diligently.
John, I'm really tired today, but I'll still make dinner,
she would say as she headed to the kitchen. However, gradually, she started neglecting the housework, and even on her days off, she began going out more often. One day, as she was about to go out, I asked her, "Where are you going?" Emily answered hurriedly as she got ready.
I'm going on a trip with friends today. I have to go now, it's time.
With that, Emily rushed out of the house. Left alone, I looked around. The floor was littered with trash, the sink was full of dirty dishes, and there was a pile of laundry. The state of the room was miserable. With a big sigh, I started to clean up. I picked up the trash from the floor, moved the dirty dishes to the sink, and folded the laundry. Is this what married life is supposed to be? I muttered to myself as I continued tidying up. Then, I found Emily's smartphone at the corner of the sofa. Huh. She forgot her phone. Thinking that, I casually turned on the screen just as a message arrived on Messenger. Let's have a hot night at the spa tonight. The sender was a man's name. I froze. Is this? I looked at the message over and over. When I checked the past conversations, there was no doubt it was evidence of an affair. No way, this can't be. I was devastated. I felt like a black cloud was spreading inside my chest. My mind went blank, and I felt like the ground was crumbling beneath me. Then on Monday, I took the day off work and waited for Emily at home. When she came back and saw my face, she was shocked.
What's wrong? Aren't you going to work?
I took the day off. We need to talk. With that, I pulled out the smartphone and showed her the evidence of her affair. What's this about? I asked, trying to stay calm. Emily's expression turned serious for a moment, but she quickly snatched the phone back from my hand.
So, you saw it? Yes, I'm having an affair,
she admitted bluntly. She showed no remorse and even seemed defiant.
You're a good provider, but you're useless in every other way. And you know what? This guy is divorcing his wife soon, so we can finally be together.
She handed me a completed divorce form.
Can you sign this?
Emily said coldly before quickly leaving the house. I was left in shock by how much she had changed and how abruptly it all ended. I wanted to talk things out, but I couldn't reach Emily, and I had no idea where she was. Feeling abandoned, my emotions gradually grew colder. On Friday night, overwhelmed by sadness and shock, I submitted the divorce papers at the courthouse. The process was handled matter-of-factly, and our divorce was officially finalized. The events of that week left me mentally and physically exhausted. It's really over, I muttered to myself, feeling numb as I returned home. Later, I informed my parents about the divorce. At first, they were surprised, but they supported my feelings and understood my decision. Their kindness brought tears to my eyes. Back home, I stared blankly at the ceiling. I couldn't measure the loss of Emily, who I had loved so much despite her selfishness. I couldn't help but wonder if she had intended to use me from the start. Then, the doorbell rang. Who could it be at this hour? I wondered. Could it be Emily, having a change of heart and coming back? The thought made my heart race. But when I opened the door, there stood Anne, my sister-in-law, with shopping bags in both hands. The sense of loss from Emily's departure was immense, and the thought that I might have been used from the beginning kept haunting me, squeezing my chest each time. The next part of the story is about the devoted support from Anne and the changes in my heart.
Good evening, John. Long time no see. I'm sorry to bother you so late.
Anne, what are you doing here? I asked, surprised.
I heard about my sister from our parents. I just couldn't stay still. I'm so sorry for the trouble Emily's affair has caused you.
Anne apologized sincerely. No, Anne, it's not your fault. Emily's the one to blame. Though I said that, and kept apologizing endlessly. Let's not stand here talking. Please, come inside. I invited Anne in as I said that.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sorry for the mess. It's kind of you to come all this way. What's going on? As soon as she entered, Anne started taking off her suit. Not just her jacket, but her blouse and skirt as well, quickly stripping down to her underwear. She was wearing surprisingly sexy lingerie, a stark contrast to her usual strict appearance. Wait. Please, put your clothes back on. But Anne, still in her underwear, began to apologize again.
This is partly my fault. Please, let me take responsibility. I offer myself to you, John.
No. I don't want you to do anything like that, and I'd really appreciate it if you put your clothes back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe I showed you this side of me.
And hurriedly put her clothes back on. Please, just sit and wait. I'll make some tea. I went to the kitchen, made some tea, and came back. We sat facing each other, sipping tea.
So, did my sister stop doing housework too?
At first, she was really dedicated, but lately, well, you can see for yourself. I looked around the messy room as I spoke. And also looked around, frowning.
This is terrible. I'm really sorry.
As Anne apologized, I asked something that had been on my mind. By the way, what's with those big bags and shopping bags?
Oh, I brought these to make meals for you. And the rest is my work stuff and clothes. I'd like to commute from here for a while.
What? What do you mean by that? I asked, shocked.
Given the circumstances, as her older sister, I feel responsible. I want to live here and take care of you.
Oh, I get it. But, wait, Why would you think that?
I figured you'd struggle living alone all of a sudden. If I can help with daily chores, it might make things easier for you. Consider it an apology on behalf of my sister.
And looked very serious as she said that. Well, it would be a big help, but you don't have to go that far.
No, please let me do this.
And looked at me with determined eyes through her glasses. Her firm nature made it clear she wouldn't take no for an answer. It seemed she felt a deep sense of responsibility.
I believe my sister ended up like this partly because of me. Please, let me make it right.
Your fault. Why do you think that?
When I was little, I was often sick, and our parents were always focused on me. My sister must have felt very lonely. After I got better, everyone spoiled her, and she turned out this way. So, it's partly my fault. Please, let me take responsibility.
She expressed her sincerity yet again. Our back and forth continued, but Anne's strong sense of duty meant she wouldn't back down, and eventually, I gave in. Since it was a kind offer, I decided to accept her help. All right, thank you for your support.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
And so, our strange cohabitation began. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of breakfast. Good morning, Anne.
Good morning. I made breakfast.
Weren't we supposed to drop the formalities?
Oh, right. But it still feels strange. Can I keep speaking this way?
And looked a bit embarrassed as she answered. The breakfast table was beautifully set. It was a full traditional breakfast, making me excited from the start. It was our first meal together. We were both a bit awkward, like strangers at a diner. This is really good. I smiled at the comforting taste of the corn soup.
I'm glad you like it.
It's been a while since I've had such tasty soup. I'm really moved.
Really? So, she wasn't cooking much.
And looked concerned. Morning sunlight filled the room. Yesterday, I didn't notice, but now that we're facing each other, I realized Anne has a very attractive face, even through her glasses. She probably isn't wearing any makeup, but her clear and radiant look captivated me.
Is there something on my face?
Oh, no, I just thought you looked really beautiful. When I honestly expressed what I thought, and blushed.
What? What are you saying this early in the morning? That's harassment.
She seemed embarrassed but also a little pleased, which moved my heart. I started to notice the little things about Anne that I hadn't before, her sometimes clumsy, yet cute gestures, her appearance in casual clothes after a bath, her flushed cheeks, and her overall alluring presence. Seeing these daily, I couldn't help but fall for her, despite thinking it was wrong. Though we still kept our distance with each other, the awkwardness gradually faded, and we grew closer. And managed to perfectly balance her job and household chores for my sake. She did the laundry every day, meticulously removing stains from shirt collars and cuffs, and perfectly ironing my dress shirts. The room became spotless thanks to her. There wasn't a speck of dirt anywhere, no matter where you looked. And also fulfilled my food requests, and her home-cooked meals were all delicious. Especially her hamburgers. I had always loved my mom's hamburgers, but Anne's were even better, making me feel truly happy. I really love home-cooked meals, I thought to myself. Even when I worked late, and never slacked off, and I realized I had been taking her efforts for granted. One weekend night, I waited for Anne, who was working late. I offered to buy some ready-made food, but she insisted, "I'll cook, so just relax and wait." After taking a bath and getting really hungry, and finally came home.
John, I'm sorry I'm so late.
Welcome back. It must have been tough. I greeted her.
I'll start making dinner now, so please wait a little. I was thinking of making ginger pork tonight. You like that, right? Just have a beer and relax.
And had even gone grocery shopping on her way back from work. She was carrying a lot of bags and panting. It looked like she had run home. Anne, are you okay? You look a bit pale. I was concerned as I asked her, but she went straight to the kitchen. However, she suddenly collapsed, as if her body had reached its limit. Anne, are you all right? I rushed over and touched her forehead, seeing that she looked unwell. You have a high fever. Please, rest for today. I carried Anne to the bed.
Put me down, this is embarrassing.
No, please stay still. After laying her down, I apologized. I'm sorry, Anne. I didn't realize I was pushing you to the point of collapsing. I might have been relying too much on you, even though you have a job too. This is my responsibility. From now on, let's share the household chores. Sometimes, we can order takeout or eat out. Please take care of yourself first. And looked at me with teary eyes. After a moment of silence, she reluctantly agreed.
Maybe I was trying to do too much. I felt like I had to fulfill my duties as an older sister. I wanted to make your life comfortable, but I might have overdone it. Is it okay if I rely on you a bit more from now on?
And looked at me with a cute, sweet voice. Seeing her like that made me feel warmer inside, but I steeled myself and said, of course. Please rely on me more. We're like family living together, so don't hesitate to ask for my help. I may not be as good at chores as you, but I'll do my best. I'll start by making some porridge for you, so just stay in bed. With that, I rolled up my sleeves and headed to the kitchen. I looked up how to make porridge online and found out that even a rice cooker could do it. I washed the rice, added water, and switched on the rice cooker. Okay, while the porridge is cooking, I'll tidy up the room and finish the laundry. I kept reminding myself to stay focused as I moved my hands. I cleaned the room, brought in the laundry, and finished tidying up. Throughout the entire process, I felt a deep respect for Anne, realizing how much hard work she had been doing alone. I vowed to take the initiative with household chores whenever I got home early. After a while, I heard the sound of the porridge being ready. Oh, it's done. Let's get it served. I excitedly transferred the porridge to a small pot and took it to the bedroom. Sorry to keep you waiting. Here's my special porridge. I put the porridge in a small pot and brought it to Anne. She was sitting up in bed, smiling as she waited.
It smells good. I'm happy. Thank you, John. It's been a long time since someone cooked for me. Not since I was at home. Let's eat.
And blew on a spoonful of porridge to cool it down and took a bite. So, how is it? Be honest, no sugarcoating.
It has no flavor at all. It's like watery mush.
And answered honestly. I took a bite myself and realized it tasted like bland, watered-down porridge. I'm sorry, this is a total failure. I really appreciate all the effort you put into cooking. I never realized how hard it is.
No, it's the thought that counts. For someone who's sick, this is gentle on the stomach.
And said that kindly. We laughed together as we ate the failed porridge. It was a very happy moment. And rested over the weekend and fully recovered. Despite the occasional mishap, we decided to work together to manage our daily lives. Touched by Anne's dedicated support and kindness, I felt warmth returning to my heart. Our cohabitation continued, with us supporting each other. As I experienced Anne's smiles and kindness, I found myself increasingly drawn to her. In the next part, I'll talk about how my relationship with Anne developed. One weekend night, Anne mentioned she felt like having a drink, so we decided to have some together. That's rare. I thought you weren't much of a drinker.
Yeah, I'm not very strong, but I had a tough day dealing with complaints, and I just felt like I needed a drink to de-stress.
That sounds rough. You deserve a break.
My family sent me some homemade wine. Want to try it?
I'd love some. But we don't have any snacks, so I'll run to the store. You go ahead and start.
Alright, thank you. See you soon. Anne smiled happily.
I quickly bought some snacks from the convenience store and came back. In about 10 minutes, I found Anne already quite tipsy.
This is sweet and delicious. I'm on my second glass.
Anne, are you drinking it straight?
Straight? I just poured it from the bottle.
It seemed Anne was drinking the wine undiluted. It's sweet and easy to drink like juice, but it has a high alcohol content. Anne, let's take a break. You seem pretty tipsy. I sat her down on the sofa and sat beside her. Our shoulders were almost touching. We weren't a couple, so it was a bit awkward being this close. As I started drinking, Anne began to speak softly.
I've been in a situation like yours, John.
What?
A few years ago, I was dating a guy I really loved and thought about marrying, but he kept postponing his answer. I got impatient and did some digging, only to find out he was already married. He had a cute wife and kids. I was just his fling.
Anne looked up at me with sleepy eyes as she shared her past. I see. What a terrible guy. I was sympathetic with her.
Being betrayed by someone you trust is really shocking. I can understand you feeling so down that you can't get out of bed. It makes you feel like you want your pure feelings back. I'm sorry for talking so much about this because of the alcohol.
Anne looked embarrassed as she said that. I was secretly happy to know her secret. Perhaps because she was getting sleepy from the alcohol, Anne's head tilted and rested against my shoulder.
I'm a bit scared of relationships now. I'm afraid of being betrayed again.
Anne. I called out, but she was already asleep, breathing softly on my shoulder. Not wanting to leave her there, I gently picked her up. Seeing her defenseless sleeping face, combined with my own intoxication, it was hard to stay composed. I laid Anne down on the bed. Good night, Anne. As I tried to leave, she grabbed my shirt.
Stay with me a little longer.
I thought to myself, that's not fair, as I took off her glasses and placed them on the desk, staying by her side until she fell asleep. I don't remember much after that, but I'm sure I didn't do anything inappropriate. I drifted off into a relatively peaceful sleep. The next morning, Anne's startled voice woke me up.
Why are you in my bed, John?
Oh, good morning, Anne. I replied, rubbing my eyes.
John, did we, last night?
No, no. There's a reason for this. Just as I started to explain, the intercom rang. I checked the monitor, and it was Emily, my ex-wife. What do you want?
I need to talk to you face to face. Can you come out?
Anne looked at me with concern. I whispered to her. Please hide for a bit. After getting ready, I let Emily in.
He dumped me. He never planned to divorce his wife. I felt sorry for you, so I thought we could get back together.
I felt a surge of anger at Emily's selfishness. I don't have any feelings for you anymore. I don't want to get back together. Emily was flustered by my unexpected answer.
I have nowhere to go. I don't have any money.
You betrayed me. You used me and then threw me away. Take care of yourself. I replied her coldly. Emily gave up and left. It's really over now. I muttered with a deep breath.
Are you okay?
And asked, coming out from the other room, looking worried. I'm fine. We just had a bit of an argument. I'm sorry for making you hide.
No, thank you for teaching my sister a lesson about the real world. I hope she learns from this.
I moved closer to Anne and pulled her into a hug.
Huh? John, what's this all of a sudden?
I just need to cool down. And I have something to tell you. Feeling Anne's heartbeat, I shared my true feelings. Thanks to you, Anne, I've become stronger and more honest with myself. Spending time with you has helped me move forward. Anne, I want to be with you forever. Will you marry me? Anne cried tears of joy at my heartfelt proposal.
I've also wanted to be with you and become a real family. I'm so happy. Thank you.
And so, we officially started dating and moved in together in a new place. A year passed, and we ended up getting married without any hitches. I guess you could call it a whirlwind romance, but it just goes to show that there are all kinds of ways to meet and fall in love. My second marriage turned out to be a happy one, where I always feel secure. Now, we're blessed with a child and enjoying life together as a family of 3. Thank you for listening to my story.